moving off of the wide receivers and moving on to our very last holdout, Haason Reddick, which has been kind of the most head scratching to me. The New York Jets made a huge splash trade this offseason when they acquired edge rusher Haason Reddick from the Philadelphia Eagles. Here come the boos. Everyone boo. They suck. With Bryce Huff signing a free agent deal with the Eagles, it kind of made a lot of sense for the Jets to acquire a veteran from the Philadelphia Eagles. However, it's not gone according to plan. They gave up a conditional third that if he plays, it's like 67.15% of the snaps, total snaps over the season. It's a second-round pick, so potentially a second-round pick for Haason Reddick. But again, has not gone according to plan at all. New York knew that when they made the trade that they were going to have to get a new contract for Reddick. But the Jets weren't under the pressure that Reddick was going to show up for the offseason workouts, even if he didn't have the contract done quite yet. And to this point, he has not reported for anything. Fuck off.
That's the GOAT right there, Howie Roseman. He's the absolute GOAT. Bro, I need to pick up my phone real quick, and I need to call the motherfucking Jets. And I gotta say, hey, you know Haason was holding out with the Eagles, right? You know that, right? He wanted a new contract. Y'all traded for him, and you're not giving him the new contract. What the fuck did you think was going to happen? Oh, I love New York. I'll just come play on this bullshit-ass contract I don't want to play on anymore. What the like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen happen. Like, you guys traded for the guy, knowing, God forbid, somebody send the 49ers a first-round pick for Brandon Ayuk, and they'd be like, yeah, no, we're not paying you either. What the hell are you, like, honestly, Robert Saleh, my guy, he's hella suspicious, bro. That I don't think he's a head coach in the league. I don't think the Jets know what the fuck they're doing. Yeah. They signed 73 offensive linemen in the offseason, and then they drafted an offensive lineman in the offseason. And, you know.
It's bad because not only, so you gave up Bryce Huff, and then also you traded away John Franklin Myers, and then you bring in Haason Reddick, and then you're not paying him. So now you're looking at Will McDonald, last year's first-round pick, who maybe shouldn't have been a mid-first-round pick at all, has to step up his performance in year two. There's obviously a couple other guys on the line as well. But a couple of young guys on the line with not a ton of experience, and now they're going to have to step up, especially in training camp, to perform well. And according to the reports, Jets practices, their first padded practice looked awful. And then their second and third, there was fights, and it looked awful. So it's just been nothing but confrontations, fights, and looking like shit. The Jets do not look good this year. But looking at the Haason Reddick thing very specifically, over the last two seasons with the Eagles, he's recorded 27 sacks, which is third in the league, again, over the last 2 years. Also bringing up 24 tackles for loss, 49 quarterback hits, and 76 total pressures. Looking at the sacks alone, someone who had the same type of production as Haason Reddick is Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter signed a 2-year, $49 million deal, so $24.5 million a year. Danielle Hunter had the same amount of sacks. He had more tackles and a little bit more pressures, but he had the same amount of sacks, so the big number at least is the exact same. And when you're looking at everybody else, Nick Bosa, Josh Allen, Brian Burns, TJ Watt, and Myles Garrett would be the only guys, the only edge rushers to be making more money than Haason Reddick. So that seems to be roughly the market for Haason and maybe what he's asking for. There has not been a lot of leaked reports on what's going on with the contract, or unless you've heard something different. Is that the money you'd pay Haason Reddick? Is that type of Danielle Hunter, not 2 years, but $24.5 million a year, right behind those guys I named off, Nick, Josh, Brian, TJ, Miles? Is he right there with those guys? Or he probably has to get paid. I mean, I don't value Haason Reddick that highly, but that's probably his market, is right behind those guys.
Yeah, but you didn't fucking trade for him.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing for the Eagles to be like, you know what, we don't value this guy at this number, and then either trading him away, which they did, or cutting him or moving off of him. But to trade for him and then not sign, like, It's just dumb. It's bad. It's bad football. And it makes you wonder what the hell's going on out there. It's already bad enough that clips are going viral of Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson arguing on the sideline and shit. And it's just, people already know that Aaron Rodgers is a weird dude to begin with. Now he's arguing with this star wide receiver.
Yep.
Like he can't get on the same page with his star wide receiver. And it's early in training camp. It doesn't mean anything come week 9, week 10, week 11. But,
Right.
you know, we're laying the lines for the season. Everybody's excited.
Let's get to like the third play of the season before we get to week 9 for Aaron Rodgers.
That's true.
Let's just stay healthy. Let's not pop our Achilles.
I drafted Aaron Rodgers in like 4 fantasy leagues last year.
And then scrambled right after.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wrapping up the training camp holdouts, wrapping up Haason Reddick specifically, any other just things you want to kind of top off here? Or are you ready to move on to the quarterback contracts?
No, I think that we covered it. For the most part, I'm expecting a lot of this contract stuff to come to a close. You know, we'll obviously hop on next week before the first week of preseason games, but
yeah,
there's only a couple of weeks until these guys are ramping up and ready, and you gotta get these guys, especially route runners like CD, who is, route runners like Brandon Ayuk. Your body needs to be conditioned, or you're gonna pull a hammy. And
absolutely.
If CD Lamb goes down in week 1 or week 2 with a 6 to 8 week hamstring injury, that's bad.
And it's those type of explosive players, obviously the route runners, yes, but it's the type of explosive players, edge rushers, wide receivers, big-bodied offensive linemen who are incredibly athletic and agile. Those are the guys you got to worry about. Those like soft tissue injuries. It's concerning. So that's what we're looking out for.